Hello everyone. Meghan's Diva demands are revealed. Totally nuts. It may sound funny, but it's true. Meghan calls herself a Hollywood A-lister. I don't know if Meghan has treated her mental illness yet to be able to make such crazy statements. But it's okay. My job, and yours, is to not let anyone be left at the bottom of society. We should condemn that woman, make her pay the price, and gradually wake up. No longer paranoid. Do you agree? I believe it is reasonable to say, and in fact, many people may agree with me, that it is difficult to actually help, especially if you are working for the former royal family known as the Sussexes. On the other hand, when you take a look at her resume, it is, to put it mildly, somewhat questionable, and everyone speaks about her career in Hollywood. There was no Hollywood career, but it is obvious that she sold this very hard and quite, some could say, ruthlessly to Prince Harry, who is a former member of the royal family and is now known as the Duke of Sussex. Consequently, this is the reason why they continue to make these ill-advised blunders, and their most recent one was displayed for everyone to see during that particular interview with the CBS Sunday morning show, which had a very excellent reputation in the past. This is really fascinating in many different ways because, as I mentioned earlier, a great number of people have attempted to assist Meghan Markle but have been unsuccessful. Regardless of whether you like that particular previous public relations firm, Sunshine Sachs, that they signed up with during their initial tenure before going off to become independents. Again, it is all about the charity work that she has done in connection with the Archibald Foundation, the one that they were so enthusiastic about, but they only volunteer for the charity for, 1 hour a week or something like that? To put it simply, Meghan Markle is completely invested in this. Nevertheless, this is where things become even more varied because, as you can probably understand, CBS had the feeling that, well, look, we have a stake in this. To accomplish this, we are going to send out some of our most talented reporters. Let us see if we are able to attract a large number of people, as always. Now, it would appear that CBS was planning to release this in the fall, or the autumn, as our friends in the United States call it. This is due to the fact that people are obviously on vacation during this time of year, but they are otherwise occupied with other things, such as going on vacations, going to the beach, and other similar activities. Therefore, they believed that they would have a larger audience when September arrived. However, Meghan's team insisted that it had to take place on this particular date. Aren't we all aware of the reason? On her birthday, what could be a more fitting occasion to launch some inducement, just like she did with the 40x40 incentive a couple of years ago, to achieve enormous success? At this point, they were unable to convince her of anything at all. I want to know how much you hate her. If you hate her to an acceptable level, comment number 1. If you hate her to a disgusting, unforgivable, unacceptable level, comment number 2. Back to the main issue. It was conveyed to them, look, we believe that we have a larger audience, and we are able to do more marketing. No, that was the only possible explanation. For the second time, I find it fascinating that she is so ignorant as to refuse to bend to these particular restrictions. However, they were proven correct, because the show has been a complete and utter failure in terms of ratings. For Sunday morning, there have been other shows that have performed significantly better, even without all of that publicity. And what's even more amusing is that people say things like, oh, yes, but it's the clips that are truly interesting. Although the clips are successful, they do not generate enough revenue to justify the creation of the program. At this point, one would perhaps have a sneaking suspicion that CBS, which was possibly considering conducting a follow-up to see how this has progressed over the course of the next several months, is now, well, let's say, giving it some serious thought. Perhaps if Meghan had listened to them in the first place and thought, actually, they might actually know something, then perhaps I would have been more inclined to follow their lead. That is not going to take place at all. As a result, it is possible that yet another business endeavor has been abandoned. Do you agree with me that the royal family is far better off without Harry and Meghan in their lives. Certainly, one thing we learned is that the British royal family is much better off without Harry and Meghan. More precisely, old Meghan was never suitable to be a working royal or a Hollywood star. The best thing that occurred was that they were gone. They are not capable of learning or working as a team. Their egos are their downfall. The ridiculous hackles act as if they have suffered as much as couples losing a child. Meghan has never suffered anything but frustration from not getting her way. Her bigger problem is that she lies every time she opens her mouth, so can't remember what she categorically said with her last breath. So just continues to dig her hole deeper. Meghan left the royal family for privacy and to be financially independent, yet 4 years later, she's blackmailing and taking cheap shots at the royal family. She's also asking for more money. Ain't happening, Meghan. Get a job. Meghan Markle, this would solve your money problems and wouldn't have to grift off of others. You know, another flop, as Meghan thought she knew better than the television professionals. I think not. Clearly, Meghan is peddling the same formula and story in trying to make her relatable. Just throw any subject to her and she can spin any stories around it, i.e., feminism, mental health issues, racism, global warming, motherhood, cooking, lifestyle, fashion, etc. She is seen to be such a desperate duchess and a laughingstock in Hollywood. Back to the career story. If possible, people started checking Meghan Markle's IMDb account. She barely worked before Suits. Markle only worked 1 or 2 times per year, in mostly one episode, only on TV shows and not the top shows. She did a few B-level movies, minor roles, as well as a few TV movies via Hallmark. She has since loaded her IMDb with interviews and appearances on shows, including E! Entertainment, to cover up that fact. Meghan will never listen because she thinks she knows it all. That's right, I think Meghan is her own worst enemy, since she refuses to listen to anyone else. We'll see many more failed projects. There will come a time very soon when these projects will dry up. No one wants to work with someone whose brand is tainted. Best thing that could have happened. Also, their insults to the royal family have resulted in no invitations to royal celebrations and no one even speaking to them. Oh yeah, I wish someone would tell Miss Markle to remove her hand from Harry's thigh. It's offensive how she always places her hand there whenever they sit together. Yes, Miss Markle, we know your talons control the narrative. She does not want her dim-wit husband to get up and walk away, and he obeys. And the takeaway from that whole interview is not the launching of the new initiative for grieving parents. It's Meghan's continuing grudge and vendetta against the firm. The CBS interview was just awful. As usual, the Markles made it about them rather than the families who had suffered such tragic loss. Atrocious journalism at its worst. Why CBS and the interviewer would trash their reputations by involving those two is beyond me. I don't think the low ratings were due to time placement, but were due to all-knowing Meghan. Of course, it has nothing to do with when it was broadcast. It has to do with them not being appropriate advocates for mental health and online bullying. It has to do with her making the program about herself, rather than the parents who were telling their stories. What happened to these interviewers asking really hard-hitting questions? There are so many things that everyone is afraid to ask these two. Meghan should have done a surprise pap walk with Harry to some special birthday restaurant and saved the interview till September. Besides, why does Markle bother to employ advisors? She knows it all, can do better than anyone, and would save herself a lot of money and save her advisors from appearing incompetent when they have to appease her. Honestly, I don't get why they think they are the authority on child safety concerning the internet. Their kids are what? 3 and 5? Why are they on the internet at all? If they had teens, maybe then. But that's a big maybe. They have nothing to recommend themselves to this subject. The D-list actress thought she would hit it big in the US, but now she is going around begging to be in part of any projects, hoping something will stick, but she doesn't realize that the public is rejecting them. Nothing is ever enough for her, and it's a matter of time when she will fall out with Harry. Hooking another man is actually her best talent. Yes, it's all come back to slap her in the face. Details have been found about her being unkind to Catherine that was put online by Harry's wife, plus unkind tweets made by her good friend Chrissy Teigen about a baby looking like a porn star and calling another a brat. She just can't get anything right. To be honest, I do have the sense that Harry's first wife has never been formally introduced to the concept of delayed gratification in any area of her life. Really, would that ridiculous faux launch of the doomed ARO have unfolded as it has were it not for her needing to be grabby all the time? I am grateful that you took the time to watch our video. To what extent do you feel about this matter? Please leave a remark below so that I and everyone else can share it. We would be quite grateful if you could show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I hope that everyone is consistently joyful and full of life. Goodbye, and I hope to see you again soon.